Hey, welcome to the show, man. Gary, how's it feel today, man?
Oh man, it feels great. Great. Like I failed in a lot of ways, but I also succeeded in a lot of ways. And I think failure is a great, teacher of things, and I think success is a great teacher. And so when you get both, you get success and failure that have taught you lessons that put you in an area of expertise. And I think wisdom comes from experience and knowledge, and being able to see patterns. And now, after I've worked with over 4,000 entrepreneurs in the last 10 years, I've seen a lot of patterns, and I've seen a lot of very similar things. There's not really anything that surprises me anymore. I've got a lot of gray at this point because, I've seen a lot of areas of problems. I've seen a lot of downturns, a lot of upswings in real estate, business in general. But my journey started off in the late 90s or early 2000s. I became an executive for a Fortune 500 company, national manager of business initiatives and development was my title, and then worked my way up throughout the ranks and helped Fortune 500 companies do honestly very similar to what I do now with entrepreneurs. But I got that itch for real estate, 2004, after working for my brother-in-law and rehabbing some houses. And you said you got into real estate around that same time, 2007. I don't know about you, man, but it wasn't very kind to me, right? I bought a bunch of fix and flips and rentals and did it all wrong, and the market taught me a very valuable lesson. And I think it taught a lot of people a valuable lesson back then. And I came out of 2009, 2010 licking my wounds, vowing never, ever to do real estate again. And I made a promise to my wife at the time, and my kids, and my family. And I'm like, I ain't doing that again. I learned, file bankruptcy. I lost it all. And actually, at the end of that 2011 year, it was about the same time I got bit by a tick with Lyme disease and got Lyme disease. Bit me in my C5, my C6, not a normal case. It got into my spine and my brain and really wreaked havoc on my system very, very quickly. Ended up with like 26 panic attacks a day and just struggled to function. But, I got to a point where I was able to recover. My brother-in-law at the time is like, hey, Gary, why don't you come help me with my real estate company again? And I was like, no. He's like, brother, you can't do anything else right now. You're still recovering. Just come in and lend a hand. And he's like, I said, man, I'm not interested. He's like, I'm wholesaling now. We're in and out. We're not taking on risk, blah, blah, blah. And that intrigued me. It's like, can I get in and get out without the risk that associates with real estate? And he taught me how to do it. And I came in and we started wholesaling houses. And we built a company doing 300 deals a year.
Oh, wow.
And got into 𝗏 method and got into the active turnkey method and started actually working with a lot of physicians and selling turnkey properties to them over the years. You have your business unit leader. They're responsible for the profit indicators of the company, making sure the strategy makes money. Then there's performance, and the managers of the organization are responsible for the performance of the organization. And your employees are responsible for fulfilling the process indicators every day and doing those things. So when we talk about everybody having a number, well, those are your numbers. As the innovator, your job is to protect the purpose, right? Create the vision to get us to our purpose. The business unit leader, they're responsible for the profits, making sure we make money to fulfill purpose. Your managers are responsible for the performance of the company that makes us make money to fulfill our purpose. But the employees are responsible for the daily tactical activities, which is what we call process indicators, and getting us to the performance that fulfill the profits and ultimately gain our purpose. And those same positions are tied to those KPIs, but then I also tie them back to the meeting structure of the organization. As an innovator of the company, the purpose indicator is yours. Well, you also have a meeting that is your town hall. That's your cultural meeting that you need to talk about the purpose. And if we are achieving purpose with your employees and keep everybody what? Inspired. That's your job. Now, the business unit leader, their job is to take the strategy and create a plan. And so their job, that profit indicator, is done in that strategy or that planning session every quarter to carry out the strategy for the visionary and the innovator. And so I always tell people, I've done probably 20,000 plus strategy sessions at this point. And that's just a guess. But when you do 300 clients a year, for 10 plus years, you're going to get up there pretty quickly. And so I've done tons of strategy, 4 quarterlies at that. And so, 300 times 3 times 10 years, whatever that number works out, maybe it's north of 20, I'm not sure. But
I've got a calculator right here. It says a lot.
I mean, we could figure it out. I've never really thrown it out there. But when you think about that, I've never gone into a strategy session and somebody's like, man, You know, Brett, I made too much money this quarter. I think I want to change strategy. Right? Nobody ever says that. They always go, bro, I got to change strategy. I didn't make any money. And so the profit indicator is attached to the business unit leader and to that strategy session. And then you have weekly meetings, organizational meetings, right? Those are the meetings that the leaders, the managers of the organization run and are part of to make sure that we perform. And so that KPI is attached to that organizational weekly meeting for the leaders, managers of the organization to monitor performance. And then you have the tactical, the daily meeting, the same page, the daily huddles that we are reviewing the process indicators with our employees. Hey, how many offers did you make yesterday? How many appointments did you go on? Those daily numbers to protect the performance, that protect the profits, that fulfill the purpose. And so when we do it in that conjunction, we protect communication, we protect the meeting structure, we protect the KPIs, we get confidence, and that confidence allows us to let go. You know, purpose comes from a little bit of a different place. Purpose comes from your life. And so what you're talking about and what you start to get lit up on is passion, right? Passion and purpose do tie in together, and I'll show you how. Purpose comes from what I call life. I discovered this in 2011 when I got Lyme disease, okay? I was 35 years old. I was sitting in front of a doctor. He said, Gary, you have maybe 6 months to a year left if we can't get this thing. Because it was 9 months into being bit that I didn't know. I just went about my day, started having panic attacks, started taking Xanax, started doing things like that because I thought it was just burnout from corporate America. And it wasn't. It was obviously a disease, and I started losing weight and thought I was getting in shape, but really my hormones were getting knocked off, all kinds of things were autoimmune, basically was kicking in at that point. And I found myself on the end of this, and it's like, oh, I don't know if I can heal my body in time, right? And so I'm sitting there, and with that doubt in my mind, my head in my hands, the tears running down my forearms, you just picture that moment of just a complete exhaustion, complete fatigue, complete just wanting to give up at that moment, and then also a sense of loss. And so this defeated mindset sitting in my body of like, what was this all about? If I don't live through this, if this does take me out, did I fulfill my purpose? And I remember sitting there thinking about that. I remember thinking to myself, God, if you'll give me my life back, I'll give my life back to helping other people. Somehow, some way, figure this out so they don't get to the end and have this mortality motivation kick in or sense of loss. And so I don't want anybody to be there. I don't want you to be there, Brian. I don't want your listeners to be there. I want you all to 100% know. And here's the exercise I go through with my clients. I say, purpose comes from your life. And the life is 3 parts. One is your past. So you got to look back at these past 45 years and you got to determine what in your past do you love to do, right? Maybe it's helping the military. Maybe it's playing the fender. Maybe what is it that you love to do? Then you have to look at the present. Like what gift do you have, Brett, that God's given you that you can help other people with? Well, you have the gift of knowledge. You have the gift of gab. You have the gift of speaking. You have the gift of helping. You have the gift of investing. You have a lot of gifts. So that's the second answer. The first answer is you love helping people. Your past is giving you a passion for helping others. 2, now you have gifts that have been given to you. 3rd is what do you want to be remembered for? When it's all said and done, someone writes your eulogy speech, what are they going to write about Brett Riggins? What are they going to write? Those 3 answers is where your purpose lies. It's in those 3 things. Same thing with your business. What does your business love to do? What is your business good at? What gift can it get back to the world? And what do you want your business remembered for? And listen, your purpose doesn't have to be the company's purpose. That's where a lot of entrepreneurs make the mistake. Yeah. They go, well, that's got to be no, it's not got to be your purpose. It's got to be the company's purpose. And here's the key. The company's purpose, you have to, and your employees need to see how the company's purpose is going to help you fulfill your purpose. And at any point, the company grinding and doing real estate doesn't help you fulfill your life's purpose, you shouldn't be aligned with it anymore. I have multiple businesses, but I have an obsessive, mindset as well, where I can be ADD as well. But here's the thing, it's not my job to stay focused, it's the people I hire's job to stay focused. And so there's 3 things that I start every business with, because here's what starts it, right? A passion, a product, and a profit. I see I can make money, I'm passionate about it, and I have a product. Those 3 things kick it off for me. The second thing that I'm looking at then is, well, where am I going to spend my time? How much money am I going to make? How much money am I going to spend? And what people do I need to do this? That's the resources side of Rise. It's the time, money, and people. Where am I spending my time? How much money, make and spend, and what people do I need? Now, here's the thing, Brett. Every new idea I have or new opportunity comes in, I run it through my filter. My filter is, will it help me achieve my purpose? That's the very first decision. If it doesn't, I'm not going to do it. Now, if it will, the first thing I do is I determine time, money, and people. Will it need my time? How much money will I need to make? How much money will I need to spend to make it happen? And who's the person I can hire that can stay focused on this business? And that's my business unit leader. And if I don't have time, money, or people, I don't start the idea. I've started 67 businesses. I've sold 10.
Holy cow.
And I have 14.
Holy
so
cow.
You do the math. 67 minus 24, that's all the businesses I've started and shut down.
Mm-hmm.
You know why? Because it required too much of my time, so I was losing focus. It didn't make any money in the time frame that I determined it needed to make it in based on my business performance, or I couldn't find the right people. And this one is probably the one that's killed those businesses more than not.
The people.
Because if I don't have the right business unit leader to run the company and stay focused on it, I'll shut it down tomorrow. I don't care how much money it makes me. Because I value my time. I value my focus. Because if we don't stay focused, we're not going to get successful. Now, if we start new businesses and they match up to our time, money, and people, then let them run. The key, though, is not using your time.